I'm wondering how long it's going to take before somebody snatches Mariah Lynn and cracks her in her motherfucking mouth. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie? All right, guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is season 7, episode 12 of Love and Hip Hop New York. Like I said, I'm waiting on somebody to get Mariah Lynn because she has this real bad habit of always interjecting her Mr. Pretzel built ass into somebody else's business. And it's getting sickening. Raggedy wig wearing bitch. Anyway, but let's start from the beginning. Papoose, his mother, and his daughter actually, his mom and daughter came in to actually see him. He was doing some shooting for, I guess, an upcoming video that he's doing on a song that he's releasing. His mother, her name was Renee, and it was so funny to me how much his mother looks like an actual cleaned up version of Judy. That was weird. But anyway, she even sounds like Judy, but I guess it's because that's, they're all from New York or whatever. But damn, she looked like Judy, the cleaned up version. But anyway, his mother gave him some good advice because he seems to be having a hard time with that miscarriage of that baby and all of that. So, like his mom said, you know what, you and Remy need to band together at this point and possibly some counseling because, black folks do not come up with it on their own to go to counseling. So that was interesting to see. But, we like Papoose, so that's that. Later on, he actually did sit and he talked to Remy, and she also was actually having a hard time. She was saying, I just go on stage and I perform and then I get off and then all I think about is my baby that I lost the whole time. So they both have been having a hard time. But I think what actually helped them is that he told her not to blame herself, that whatever it was all God's will. And they just were going to deal with it like that and think of it that way. And once she no longer, because she was blaming herself. So once she was no longer blaming herself, she started moving away from it and feeling better about the situation. And once she started healing, he was able to start healing. So like I said, I like them as a couple. Papoose and Remy have actually turned out to be one of the best things that Love and Hip Hop New York has actually produced. You actually get to see an actual black couple with a real relationship, and you don't see that in very many of these shows. They are a good thing. They're a good look for the show, and I wasn't so sure about Remy in the beginning, but they're a good look for the show. They really are, and I hope they end up bringing them back. I'm sure they will because she's, Remy's in the first run credits. So I'm sure she'll come back. She has a good following. Anyway, next we got Rich, Peter, Self, and Snoop. So it's the Creep Squad less Cisco. Rich and Peter are over there badgering DJ Self about being upset with Cisco. He's not being able to let it go. He's still mad at him and he's like, the hell with him. But I mean, I understand that. And I don't know how Peter got over it because anybody that fuck with $10,000 of my money, I'd be pretty pissed off at him. But, Peter's a flip-flopper, so it don't make no difference to him, I guess. So they finally talk Self into taking a meeting with Cisco to try to clear everything up. Funniest thing, the one lesbian of the Creep Squad, which is Snoop, basically told them in a very nice way, you all act like a bunch of motherfucking bitches and I ain't got time for it. She told them she don't have time for all their drama, that she was going to have to catch up with them later because that shit they was into, she ain't into. I said, well, ain't this, it was ridiculous. You got one lesbian in the group, but she tell all the men, you bitches are petty. I got just as tickled, about fell off this couch laughing at that shit. And she walked off and left. She's a hot mess. Anyway, okay, so Bianca and Yandy actually show up together, and Jay, Kimbella, and Juju show up in Mexico. First thing is first, they're like, what the hell is Bianca doing here? Why are you bringing, and it was that damn Kimbella. Kimbella's really a bit much. She was upset about the whole thing. She's like, why would you bring work on a girls' trip? She didn't appreciate the fact that Yandy brought Bianca. Well, Yandy paid for that. What is it to you, Kimbella? You need to worry about that damn Dolly Parton wig you wearing and not running Jules away from you with your crazy shit. Stop worrying about everybody else. But she was so bothered and so pissed off, she just wanted to be mad with Yandy. You know what I mean? So she started up with that. Then they had to have a little run in, a little talk. And Yandy told her, you know what? I'm not going to do this with you. I don't give a shit what you say. I'm not getting in the middle of no drama between you and Jules. I didn't appreciate him yelling at me. Then you're yelling at me. And she's like, well, I just want to know. And you're my friend. And she's just going on and the shit ain't making no sense. She's like, listen, I'm not listening to the same shit from you and Jules. I got to listen to shit twice. Fuck all that. That's on y'all. I'm staying out of it. So once she put her in her place, they literally went so far as they didn't hang out with each other the first night. So the first night, you ended up having Jay and Yandy went hanging out, and Juju and Cabela went wherever. But Jay and Yandy went to a club, and in the meantime, they actually see Bianca, who has now at this point met up with Cardi B and her sister Hennessy. She invited Cardi B and Hennessy. Cardi B invited Mariah Lynn. You remember Mariah Lynn and goddamn Bianca had a fight the last time they seen each other. So they put them two together, and Cardi was like, oh, you whores, get over there and make up and don't fuck up my vacation. So she made them make up, and it worked. They made up, cried, and the whole 9 yards because they both simple as hell. But then in the confessional, that little dirty girl, that damn Mariah Lynn, she had this old wig with blue streaks and some other shit. She always got that old dirty white girl look going on. But she goes and she says, I'm still mad at her for throwing that, knocking that tray of drinks over on me, and I'm going to still get the bitch. I'm like, well, didn't you just make up, girl, crying and all that? Child, next thing you know, they go over by the pool, and she said, I'm still mad at you, bitch, for knocking them drinks over on me. And she took and grabbed Bianca and threw her in the damn pool. And she falls in the pool too. But when she go in the pool, her fucking wig come off, and the nasty wig float up to the top of the water. Now she in the pool, a white girl with all these braids in her head, looking crazy. Cardi B turns around and says, shit, Mariah Lynn, girl, when your wig came off, you look like an ex-con. I said, oh, God. They're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, long story short, Yandy ends up seeing him in the club. Yandy gets pretty pissed off because she's like, Bianca, what are you doing? She's like, I'm turning up. I'm having a good time. So I didn't bring you here to turn up or have a good time. You're working. I brought you to Mexico. I paid all this money to bring you to Mexico. You're supposed to be writing music. I brought you here to write. I came and gave you scenery and all of that so that you could clear your mind, get out of New York, and sit down and write. I did not bring you here to come into a club while I'm vacationing and look over and you up here shaking your ass. So she was pissed off. Now, the whole time, she done pulled Bianca to the side. She didn't embarrass her. She pulled her to the side. She's talking to her. Cardi B and them are standing over the side. Mariah Lynn got all this stuff to say about how Yandy is handling Bianca. And she doing too much, and she always got something to say. And I said, now, you know what, Mariah Lynn, I think you barking up the right tree. Because if you rub Yandy the wrong way, you might get just what you're looking for. One big red handprint on the side of your ugly face, playing around with Yandy. And I was like, all right. So as she was doing it there, and then she kind of piped down, and Yandy told her, go ahead, have fun. She told her, y'all, you ladies, it's nothing against y'all, but she really was supposed to be working. Told him, go ahead tonight, y'all have fun. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start over fresh. Remember, Bianca, you're at work. You'll be working tomorrow. So then they actually end up running into him again the next day. They go down to the beach. She was having they were having a little fun time together with everybody. You know, it was Cardi and Hennessy. You had Mariah Lynn, um, Bianca. You had Cambella, Juju, Jay. They were all of them. All the girls was there. Cambella started it. They was like, twerk, twerk, twerk. She jumped up and went to twerking. Cardi again going to say, I don't know what kind of competition this is. This bitch jump up. She got so much shit done to her. Her ass is bigger than all of us. This bitch is cheating from the door. I said, that damn Cardi is too much. But they went on. They did all that. And they were having a good time. They ran and got in the water and all of that. Another thing that was going on down there is Juju's working on a book. And it's a book that just talks about different experiences. And it's a fiction novel. I mean, she says, all women could really relate to it and everything like that. It's like, it's real sexual and different things like that. And a lot of drama, one of them good books. Good page turner. So she wanted the girls to take and read a few of the chapters and let her know what they thought about it. So in the midst of all that, they're doing their thing. Then we had a run-in with Juju and Yandy that night. Juju's sitting there. Yandy comes over and she sits down and she says, I wanted to talk to you because she had just cleared the shit up with Cambella. And she said, I wanted to talk to you because I feel kind of violated because if you were going to write about me in the book, I wish you would have talked to me before you put me on Front Street like that. And Juju got real defensive. She didn't get offended. She got defensive. Now, y'all tell me in the comments if y'all actually clocked that. She got very defensive because that's just what the fuck she did. Yandy called out exactly what the fuck she did. This whole time, I kept saying something going to go on with Juju because everybody confides in Juju. Everybody who has a problem sits down and talks to Juju. Juju ain't got no problems. Everything with Juju and Cameron is fine. I said, something going to go on with this where everybody's talking to this one hoe. Sure enough, she basically wrapped a little piece of the story all around that shit with Yandy and the baby's mamas and the fake IG accounts and all that. Swore by damn that ain't what she did. You're not that important, this, that, and the other. Wait a minute. Now you hoes is like best friends. How did this conversation revert to you're not that important and you're not going to talk to me like that and you don't want it with me? Bitch, because you're being defensive because she clocked you. You did exactly what she said you did. You literally wrote about her and changed the times in the names and shit. And that is a bit much. That's a bit much, especially with the fact that the shit's playing out on TV. Come on, Juju, seriously? So, Juju walks off and leaves. And Jay goes behind her trying to talk her, calm her down or whatever. Said, well, maybe, just talk. Y'all need to talk. Juju's pissed off. Cambella sitting over there talking to Yandy and telling Yandy, well, you hurt her feelings, Yandy, this, that, thing, and the other. You're going to need to apologize. Yandy was like, I'm not apologizing to anybody for anything. I meant what I said. I said what I meant. And if I was wrong, so be it. Be it as though I know I'm not wrong. I know what conversation me and Juju had, and I'm not crazy when I'm sitting there reading it in a damn book, and I lived it. Said, okay. Juju need to make that right and get out of her goddamn feelings. You got busted. You did what you did. It was what it was. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out next week. Last thing, DJ Self and Cisco and the rest of the Creep Squad actually meet up. When Cisco comes out there, he figures out Self. He said, what in the fuck? He looked over. Self done literally taken spray paint and wrote Gwenin on his silver Mercedes out front. Talking about, yeah, you did some foul shit. And when you do foul shit happens to you. You know, Cisco break out trying to get at him. We want to fight. And you know, Self ain't no fighter. Self was getting the fuck out the way. But at the whole same time, he's laughing and saying, wait a minute. Let me show you. It wipes right off. I just wanted to get your attention. So he took a rag and he was wiping where the spray paint just wipes right off. And he was like, you better be glad. He said, that spray paint better wipe off my cross grade. Fuck you up. So at that point, then Cisco apologizes to all the members of the Creep Squad and tells them, you know, I was wilding out. I had stuff going on and I shouldn't have done the things to you all that I did. They're all better than me because I wouldn't have forgiven him. I would have beat his old fat ass. And if I was Peter Guns, I would definitely kick his ass $10,000 later. I don't want to hear nothing about your dying ass mammy and all that bullshit. Get my money, punk. I'd have punched him right in his nose. That's just bullshit. But anyway, they all forgave him. And that was basically it. That's how everything kind of went down. So it is what it is. And I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, later.